Hello everyone, I'm not used to filming from behind the camera, but today we're going to be trying to do a little tour, more in-depth tour of my Household Dragon tarot deck that I have been designing over roughly 2 years, like 1 3/4 years, that I've just been doing for fun. Didn't really have any intentions with it except for fun. I love drawing these little dragons. They are very reminiscent of ferrets. In the way that they move and the way their bendy little bodies work. So yeah, that's where I got the idea from, but I call them household dragons, and I got this binder here, so we're gonna look through it. Ignore this guy, he's on the outs, but here's a little like fact sheet about household dragons here at the beginning. They range in size from as small as a mouse to as large as a cat. Some have known to grow even larger. They come in a variety of colors and patterns, which tend to be bright and vibrant. Most have 2 horns, though occasionally some grow 4. They cannot fly, but they seem able to glide with the aid of magic. They cannot breathe fire, but may produce some magical effects such as sparks. They can render themselves invisible when they need to. They are usually friendly and occasionally helpful, though they are known to enjoy playing pranks and stealing human items, especially food. They tend to be solitary and seldom have more than one in your home, but sometimes they hang out in groups, and they can be spotted outdoors as well, though it is more rare. So that's my lowdown for the lore of my household dragons. I did create some rules for myself when I was designing these guys. One of them was that I had to utilize their bendy little bodies. I had to try really hard not to just draw them in static poses, just sitting there. I had to incorporate the bendiness of them in some way, to give them fun poses and not just have them be just sitting in the middle of the picture, that sort of thing. I also wanted to give them, like I said, a bunch of vibrant colors, while keeping them fairly uniform as a species. One thing that I was never going to do, which is just a dumb rule that I made it for myself, is there would be no cow print. They all have markings that could potentially be found on a cat or a dog or a horse or even a fish, but no cows. Nigel's here and he agrees with me. Many of these will be revamped. This is only the first draft. Buddy, I'm talking. It's not dinner time yet, buddy. I'm sorry about Nigel. It's near enough to his dinner time that he thinks because I'm standing up that I should be feeding him. So I apologize for him yelling. So this is a first draft. So none of these are 100% locked in final. This is what it's going to be forever. And a lot of them are going to be redone because especially when I started, I didn't really know exactly what I was doing and what direction I was heading and design wise. So some of them are definitely going to be redone, and I'll talk about them as we come to them, which ones I'm probably going to redo and which ones are probably going to be permanent. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, they're all watercolor. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. So first we have, of course, the Fool. He is probably going to be a redesign. I didn't really know what to do with him, so I'm thinking I'm going to do something else. He's fine, but I'm thinking he needs a redesign. And next up we have the Magician. He's probably gonna stay. I think I like the Magician. I like him better wrapped around a hat than I do the Fool sitting in a hat. So the Fool I'm probably gonna redesign so he's wearing the hat somehow. But yep, there's our Magician. Here we have the High Priestess. I'm probably going to redesign the High Priestess as well. She was an earlier design and I just don't love her. I love the ideas here. I don't mind her markings looking very celestial. She's kind of got the third eye thing going on, but I don't like her pose, and I don't like the weird things I use to kind of fill in the negative space. So she's going to get a redesign probably. Next we have the Empress, leaning heavily into themes of rebirth with the Empress. So she's planting a seed and she's staying. I quite like her, quite pleased with how she turned out. And of course we have the Emperor. He is building, and I think I'm gonna stick with him. I don't 100% love him, just kind of how he turned out, but I think I'm gonna stick with him. I don't think I'm gonna redesign the Emperor. Then we have the Hierophant, and he's got a little student right here. I'm not sure whether I'm going to redesign him or not. I like many aspects of him, and I don't like others, so I'll have to see if I want to redesign him. His markings are a little bit pepperminty, and I don't know if I want that. But I do like his little student. He's a little cutie patootie. Next, of course, we have the lovers. This is one of my earliest ones, and it is going to get a redo. I tried using this metallic paint that I have, but it just didn't, like, the metallic paint in theory sounds cool, but it doesn't work out in practice, I have found. Like, if you tilt your head, you can sometimes catch a little bit of the metallic quality to it, but ultimately, this is getting a redesign. I also don't like their pose. It didn't turn out as cool as I wanted it to. Next we have the Chariot. He's another very early one where I experimented with doing some of it in colored pencil, and I don't like that. So he's getting a redo. His pose is going to stay the same, but he's going to get redrawn and repainted and all that good stuff. Now here's one that I'm really pleased with. This is Justice, and I love this one. This one's definitely not changing. I was having trouble figuring out what to do with Justice, so I was looking at several like other tarot card designs and really hit on the weighing scales, and I was like, how can I get the weighing scales incorporated into like a dynamic pose? And then this idea struck me, and I'm like, it's perfect. So I love this one, and it's not changing. Next we have the Hermit. He's probably staying. He's one of those rare outdoor household dragons, and he's just checking out the view, and so I think he works really well as the Hermit. Here we have the Wheel of Fortune. This one's probably not changing either. I like this one, the color changing along its back. Yes, I am aware that it looks kind of like the rainbow zebra from that old bubble gum, but I don't care. I think it looks really cool, and he's like standing up on his tail, and he's in a really neat pose. I like him. By the way, ignore these. These mean something else. Those are just for me. Notes for me. This is, of course, Strength. We love Strength. This one's not changing either. This is obviously going back to my inspiration with ferrets. We have a little household dragon versus a ferret. So that one's not changing. That one's great. Here we have, I believe, my very first one. That is the Hanged Man. Unfortunately, I love the design of it. I'm very pleased with the way it turned out, except that I ended up changing my style a little bit. It's a little bit more of the loosey-goosey paint style. You can still see some of the pencil lines in it if you look closely. It was just, I was going for a different style or trying for a different style, and it didn't work out. So I am going to redo this guy, but it's hopefully going to look roughly the same pose. All right, our next one, of course, is Death. This one is also going to stay. This one is one of the more complex ones with a couple of characters. Obviously, we've got our little representative of Death up here, little dragon, hanging out with our beloved deceased Mr. Beans, who is not a real cat that I ever had. I just made up a cat name, Mr. Beans. This is Temperance, another one of my very early ones. This one's getting a redesign. I'm just not happy with it overall. Here we have the Devil, though. This guy's probably going to stay the same. I had a really hard time deciding what to do with the Devil. Again, I had to look at a bunch of other people's tarot art to see if I could get some inspiration, and I saw some that had like chains as kind of a motif with that, and I was like, sold. So we got the chains on the Devil here. Next we have the Tower. I like it, but I'm not 100% that I'm going to keep it. I like the pose. Sorry about all the reflections on the plastic here. I like the pose, but it looks a little bit off. Something like the lightning didn't turn out quite right, so like I'm gonna probably keep the ideas, but I'm probably gonna redo this one eventually. I'm thinking I might not. I don't know. There's stuff I really like about it, and then there's stuff I don't. This is another really early one. Obviously, I'm still experimenting with colored pencils as part of it, but this is getting a redraw for sure. I don't even know if I'll stick with a flashlight. I might go with a candle instead. But here we have the Moon. This one's probably staying. We got our glowing mushrooms. We got an upside down pose. If I can't figure out what to do with these dragons, I kind of flip them upside down. See what that does. So that one's staying. And of course the Sun, and this one's probably staying as well. If you can't see on the little record he's got below him, he's got "Here comes the sun, let the sun shine in," and it's a sunshine day on the record. Next we have Judgment. I'm not 100% sure about this one. I probably am going to change this one up. I like him, but I just don't know that he's really judgment enough. Like, I was going with the seasons thing because of, like, again, sort of a renewal kind of vibe, ever-changing kind of vibe. But yeah, I don't know. I'm probably going to change that one out. And then we have the world. I'm probably going to change him because his design is so simple. Like, obviously he's infinity, but I don't know. If you have any ideas for what I should do with the world, let me know, because I don't know what I want to change him into. Maybe I could do something cooler with the infinity symbol. Yeah. But now we are on to the suits, and we have plants first. Now here's the thing about these. Until I got to the end, did not draw any of these with, like, intention to be any specific thing. I was just like, the theme is plants, let's draw some dragons. So after I drew them, I decided which number they would be. So until I got to the very end where I had to fill in some slots, then I started, drawing them specifically for those slots. But yeah, most of these were drawn and painted first, and then I decided where they would fit in the deck. So here's our Ace of Plants. He's gonna stay. Two of Plants was another pretty early one, so it's probably going to get redrawn. Same for our boy, Three of Plants. I just feel like I could do better. I like the idea, and I'm probably going to do it again with the cattails, but I think I can do better now. Four of Plants, though, he's probably going to stay. I like him a lot. He has my favorite flower, which is a lilac, and he's got a little bee, and he just looks so happy. Five of Plants, probably also going to stay. He's got a thistle. I approve. Six of Plants, don't think I'm going to change him. Sorry, everything's kind of at an angle. I can't quite get my camera to look straight down, so yeah, and my arm would fall off if I held it, so I've got it on a tripod. Trust me, they look good. Look, look, look. They don't look quite so weird if they're straight up and down, but anyway, here is the Seven of Plants with a dandelion. There he is. So cute. He's not going to change. Eight of Plants with a dragonfly, he's gonna stay. Nine of Plants with his leaf coat, he's gonna stay. 10 of Plants, he's gonna stay. A lot of plants were later designs when I finally got the hang of things, because plants were like the hardest one for me to come up with ideas for. I'm just not a really big plant person. Here's the Page of Plants. This one was an early design. I'll probably redo it, just to make it a little bit more dynamic. He's a little static here, so he might get redone. I might not, I'll see. Is definitely gonna stay. He's got raspberries. And the King and Queen of Plants also are not gonna change. I'm very pleased with both of them. Here he is. Yeah, he looks good, I like him. Now we're on to snacks. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, plants is wands, and snacks is pentacles. So here we have our boy with a cookie as our ace of snacks. He's probably going to get a redraw. I'm going to stick with the cookie, I think, but I'm going to redo him because he was a pretty early design. Snacks was my favorite one to come up with designs for. Whenever I sat down and just started to draw, it always turned out to be snacks. So here is two of snacks. He's probably going to stay. Three of snacks was inspired by, I don't know if anyone saw that picture of the yellow snake in a fruit bowl blending in with the banana. That's what this guy's inspired by. Here we got four of snacks and his carrots and dip. He looks very protective of his carrots and dip. You probably shouldn't steal any from him. Five of snacks is, of course, ramen. We love ramen in this household, especially with a nice runny egg. Six of snacks was one of the ones that I did last, so this one is a little bit more specifically themed, and it is monkey bread. I was trying to think of a snack that could be like cooperative or shared, and I was like, oh yeah, monkey bread. So there they all are sharing that snack. Here we have the seven of snacks. He has, of course, chocolate chips. Eight of snacks in the pickles. He looks a little bit like a Gyarados because of his coloration, but I don't care. I think he's definitely staying, just glowering at us from his pickle jar. This one, however, is getting a redo with the caramel apple. I can do better. It's fine, but I can do better. It didn't turn out quite like how I wanted, so we're gonna redo this one. 10 of snacks has hard-boiled egg, and he's really happy about it. Just look at him, he's thrilled. Page of snacks has a mochi, but I don't like the way it turned out. So this one's getting a redo. It just didn't quite look right. I think I'm gonna make the mochi smaller. The stretch didn't end up looking quite like I hoped, so redoing the mochi. The Knight of Snacks is one of my very first designs. He's got a pretzel, and of course I am redoing him because I think I could do a lot more with like his bendiness around the pretzel now that I've been practicing these guys a little bit more. Queen of Snacks has a chocolate bar. Again, she was one of my earliest ones, so I'm probably gonna redesign her. Probably stick with the chocolate bar, but I think I can do better. The King of Snacks has a charcuterie board, because everybody knows charcuterie is the king of snacks. I might redo him just for color, because again, I keep trying to use the metallic paint that I have, and it keeps looking like ass. So I really need to not use that, because like the gold that he is painted in is supposed to be like a nice metallic gold, and it just looks dumb. So that's all of that. Now we have cups. Cups is just cups. Cups is the only one that stayed the same. I love the Ace of Cups. He turned out really good. Wait, I'm bad at this. He turned out really good. I love his colors. I love the composition. Love it. Two of Cups, also gonna keep. These guys are just cute. They're hanging out around a smoothie. Three of Cups, keeping that one. They're making punch together. It's a team activity. Four of Cups, he's floating in your coffee cup. He's going to stay. This one's I'm keeping, as well as the Five of Cups. He spilled. Cups was also a really hard one to come up with ideas for me. There's only so many ways you can draw a cup. Six of Cups, hot chocolate. I think he's going to stay. This one I'm probably going to redesign. I had an idea in mind for him, and then it just didn't turn out like I had hoped. So I'm probably going to redo this one. Eight of Cups, though, he's staying. I really like him. He's just very simple, and I like his colors and how they turned out. Nine of Cups, he's gonna stay. He's just a little guy holding the cup. 10 of Cups is matcha. He's probably gonna stay as well. He's just mixing up that matcha. The Page of Cups, he's gonna stay. I'm pretty happy with him. Also pretty happy with the Knight of Cups. And like a homemade, like not necessarily smoothie, like a homemade like cold drink of some kind with strawberries. Maybe like a strawberry milk kind of vibe. I am going to be redesigning the Queen of Cups though, because she again was a very early one, and she's very simple compared to the other kings and queens. So I'm going to be redoing her. I'm probably going to stick with the theme of tea, but I'm going to redo her. And same for my boy, the King of Cups. Again, he ended up so much simpler because I did him earlier, so much simpler than the other kings and queens. So he's going to get a revamp that makes him look a lot more grand. And now we are on to toys, the last one, which is swords. And here we have our Ace of Toys with his blocks. I'm probably going to keep him. He's probably going to stay. I like him, pretty pleased with him. Then we have the Two of Toys with his pull-along duck. Anybody else have one of those duckies that you pulled and then the little feet went slap, slap, slap as it walked along? One thing I had to decide with toys is how modern I was going to be about the toys, and I decided for the most part to stick to older toys versus like there's no Labubu's in here. So simpler toys. There are some references to the 90s though. So here we have Three of Toys. He's sad because his bear lost its arm. That is really quite sad. Every time I see these two together, I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done yellow back to back, but they're not. The dragons are not both yellow. There's just yellow in this one and yellow in this one. Like, no, it's fine. Speaking of yellow, though, we do have the Four of Toys, and I think I'm going to redo him because, again, he was early on, and again, we have the colored pencil coming in, and I decided I didn't want that. So it's probably going to be basically identical. I'm just going to paint it all instead of using colored pencil. Five of Toys is ping pong. He's ready to play ping pong. He doesn't care that he's tiny. Six of Toys is Jax. Well, kind of. He spilled them everywhere because he flipped the box over. He's fine. And of course, we had to have chess. We had to have chess represented here. For the 8, we have a puzzle. He's struggling a little bit with the puzzle, but I think he'll get it. This one's going to stay as well. I think everything after this is going to stay. We're almost to the end. But then, as you can see, reminder of the 90s, which is when I grew up, we have a Tamagotchi. Those are back. Those are back to being popular again, but this is like the old Tamagotchi. Our 10 of toys is a yo-yo. He's a little bit tangled up. He's got some problems. I'm sure he's fine. Then we have our page of toys with crayons, doing some coloring, because I feel like coloring with crayons is still like a play activity. Qualifies for toys. All right, I lied before when I said nothing else was going to get redone. I'm going to redo this knight, I think, just because he's, again, an earlier design, and I think I want to just redesign him a little bit. It's probably going to still be with a hobby horse, but I think I'm going to just redo it, do it again, better. Maybe. I'm not 100% on him. Here we have the Queen of Toys with an N64 controller, because I grew up playing the N64. And then, of course, last but never least, we have the King of Toys with a PlayStation controller. So there you go. Because those were the gaming systems of my youth, and so I had to put them in. So that's it. Those are my household dragons in tarot card form. I'm hoping that I can figure out how to get them actually turned into a real tarot deck someday. Don't know when. It's kind of expensive to do, and I just don't have the energy to do a GoFundMe or whatever it is, because that sounds like so much work, you guys, because you have to like come up with special things for all of your backers and everything like that, and I'm like, I barely have time to paint these in like the little niches of my day. I don't have time to figure out backer gifts and stuff like that. I have a busy life, so at most I'll print out a few of these and maybe sell them like a few at a time online, or at the bookstore where my mom works. That's probably going to be about it. Probably not going to be mass producing these anytime soon. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's any that you're like, Julian, this would have been a so much better idea than what you did. And let me know if you would buy a pack someday. All right, that's it. Bye.